want to welcome you guys to our commission chambers. And we'll start off by just going around the table and introducing ourselves, and then we'll go to the back row as well.
Tim Whitehead, Prosecutor's Office.
I'm Kel Rowan, I'm the Director of Community Development Department.
Tom Strong, Chief Executive Officer and Vice Chairman for the Skokomish Tribe.
Earl Lees, the attorney for Skokomish.
Pat Tarswell, Prince County Commissioner.
Sharon Trask, County Commissioner.
There's a history coming right here. This is a great man. I'll let him go first.
Go ahead and
Okay. Right here, look, Mason County Commissioner.
Joseph Beagle.
how are you? Joseph, you want to we're just going around the table and introducing ourselves?
Okay, well, I'm Joseph Pavel. I'm Director of Natural Resources for the Skokomish Tribe.
How are you? I'm Sharon.
Sure.
All right, let's start either end.
I'm Steve Dunkel, County Auditor. Good afternoon.
Ian Tracy, Environmental Health Manager.
Marissa Watson, Long Range Planner.
Tim Higgs, Prosecutor's Office.
Sheriff Cherry, here just to observe the citizen, but also as the vice chair of the Planning Advisory Committee.
And then we have Chris
Rick Kingston, Executive Assistant.
and our TV guy, Cedric. All right, want to thank you guys for coming and sharing your thoughts on the comp plan with us. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off to Kel. Kel will kind of give us a background update.
Yep, so our state requires us to update our comp plan every 10 years now, and we do a 20-year projection. Our plan is planning for just 20 years out with a 20-year growth projection. We do the required elements of the comp plan, plus we have a couple other optional elements that we include, including human and health services, a parks plan, and what's the other optional one?
Economic development.
The economic development. We are working, Marissa Watson is our long-range planner and is working with SCJ Alliance, a consulting group that helped us update the plan. And we've been doing this for the last couple of years. I think February of 24, is that when we started? Yeah, and so I don't know about you three, but there are other Skokomish tribal staff members that have been included on our participation stuff. And we have gone through our Planning Advisory Commission. They made a recommendation to move the draft plan forward to the board. And now we're preparing for a public hearing on December 16th. And I know you and I have emailed back and forth a couple times. And but yeah, so today we're just here to just kind of hear any issues or thoughts that you guys have. And then also know, our comprehensive plan, even though it gets updated once every 10 years comprehensively, it is allowed to be updated once per year. So if there's a particular issue that we want to look at, it can get docketed on the board's, it would go through a planning advisory commission first, but then on the board's docket once per year. And that doesn't always happen, but we have done that in the past. Sometimes it has to do with like the future land use map, if things are changing there, or a major issue. And so just so you know that it's not like if something doesn't happen now, you're not waiting 10 years to get something addressed. Whatever.
Yeah, so if you'd like to share your thoughts, concerns.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, we've had staff, our planner, Bruce Weiscott, has been keeping up to date on it. I've scanned through the plan quite a while ago, early on in the process. We don't have any red flag issues. We have concerns certainly with the processes and activities here in Mason County, and sometimes we're not so happy, and sometimes we are. Getting acquainted with the hearings examiner, as he phrased it diplomatically, the Mason County makes a liberal use of the variance policy. But those are things that are not germane to the comp plan immediately, but in the long term, obviously, these things come together. They're a connect the dots kind of thing. And, our focus and our attention is certainly on the shores and the waters of Hood Canal and the basins therein and the Skokomish watershed particularly. And there are, whatever, the comp plan says, they're pretty much constrained right now by other factors beyond everybody's control. So those are things that we're working on right now. On the shorelines, of course, there's a shoreline plan. We pay a lot more attention when we go through and redo those shoreline plans. And I think those are 5-year intervals.
It's also 10 years
10
now,
years.
so,
They've got
and
10 years.
but it will be 5 years. So our next shoreline master program update will be, what is this, 2030?
Yeah.
Due in 2030.
Yeah,
So we'll probably start on that 2028.
Right.
Yeah, and so I was thinking that's where you guys typically get more involved in,
Right.
in
Exactly.
the shoreline master program.
Certainly we're concerned, from a broader perspective about, just the broader scope of activities. Resources are not all that we need for them to be. But we try to help out when we can. Again, water quality being a real significant concern, and management of waste, domestic waste and so forth is a big concern. We've had some success there, in recent years with, I think in Hoodsport with opening up some shellfish beds, getting waters reconditioned and that sort of thing. But that requires a commitment and follow-up from, the powers that be, like the county, as far as monitoring that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good to hear that there are no red flags. We like that.
These are, just issues that are always gonna be with us. We always have to, we have to be ever vigilant. We have to, it helps when the citizens cooperate or are understanding, certainly we don't wanna have to come in with a heavy hand. But sometimes you need to, and they need to be reminded occasionally.
That is true. Yeah. Do you guys want anything, or want to say anything, or add, or?
Yeah, just to say I'm not, just looking at it from the technical standpoint, I guess. I'm on the policy side, and so, well, mostly on the government side too. But just to say that as a part of this process, I'd hope that there's opportunities to continue to work together on how we move these things forward. Our tribe operates in Mason County, but we also operate in Kitsap County, Jefferson County, so we have interests throughout the Hood Canal drainage here. And so we lean on our technical staff, which Joseph heads up, and our legal staff, which Earl heads up, to look at these plans and see if there are these red flags on the tribe's behalf. On the other side of that really is kind of the governmental or policy aspect as well, in that they'll provide technical input, but it's ultimately up to the government to accept if that's what we want to see happen and how we want things to move forward. So it's kind of two-pronged in working with a tribe. So I wanted to make sure that folks were kind of aware of that as well, and that I'll be bringing the entire process ultimately in front of our council to make them aware, and then see if there's any further input that they might want to provide. Barring that, I don't really foresee any of that, but mostly to make sure that that official capacity for our tribe is represented through this process, not just the technical aspect. Additionally, though, in looking at what you're looking to do in terms of economic development in other places and spaces, while those plans might be optional, it'd be someplace where our tribe would be keenly interested in examining how you all will look to move forward. We have property in Kitsap County, just outside of Mason County, but we're looking at developments in that direction. You mentioned kind of the need to retire some debt with the Belfair treatment plant, other things like that in there. As the tribe looks to grow and expand in that direction, it might be something where there can be beneficial conversations some point in the future about how we'd be mutually beneficial in developing hopefully that area. It's underserved, underdeveloped, and an opportunity for us, as far as we can see, for us to look to expand our economic development reach and grasp. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. And they're looking at, I've worked for our tribe off and on for a great number of years now, and we haven't done a lot of collaborative work with the county at that level. We've done some work, whether it's in the implementation of habitat restoration work that we've done in concert with one another and working with the conservation district or other projects, but I'd hope to build a working relationship that is ongoing and not project specific maybe. And so just wanted to also come to discuss a little bit of that and make mention of that as well, to look and think of the tribe as a partner also moving forward, because we'd like to think of the county the same way, knowing that our objectives might not always be the same, but that if we work together, plan together, talk together, and think together, we can find mutually beneficial paths forward. So that's really kind of what finds me here today, is just to voice that and bring that hopefully encouragement and not as much concern from the governing body, but that I will want them to weigh in as well and see. This has been kind of a quick turnaround for us at the policy level. So it's hard to get everybody it's an immense amount of information. And so I've barely gotten to get through it myself. And so I know I can't expect the rest of my council to do that too. So I want to be able to bring them a briefing, let them know what's going on, and see if they have any further input. But again, just wanted to continue to make sure that we're engaged in the process. Appreciate the opportunity to have a government-to-government meeting and to move this forward. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm here for.
Fantastic.
And I know that from the legal perspective, we look forward to working with Mason County. We hope that we have a different experience here than we did in Kitsap, and that I have over the past few years briefed Skokomish Council and staff on how the comp plans are developed and the process behind it. We are, let's say, in tribal communities, not fans of the process and the failed system the state has put in place. Commerce is not particularly helpful, I know that Skokomish is looking to develop lands near Belfair, Allen. Hopefully we'll find something eventually in Mason County that would facilitate development, and we would be able to work on that development if it's not specifically zoned within this version of the plan, then on the typical annual rotation, that if we would be given consideration and not excluded from the room like in Kitsap County, it would be very helpful. There are two things that I know that leadership at Skokomish want to emphasize. One is, again, enforcement is a key component to development of these plans. Having them is nice, but not following through is a problem. And the second is more of a legal, political kind of component. The Skokomish are the people of Hood Canal. And Skokomish are the only ones that had any villages south of Port Gamble in Hood Canal. We've got Squawks in that way, but once you hit the watershed up here, it was Skokomish. And we would very much hope that Mason County does not entertain Suquamish's push to designate Belfair as one of their villages. That is a falsehood. It was Dethlalip. It was a Skokomish village, site of one of its bands. And even though its Historic Preservation Office at Suquamish and others have now claimed that on their websites and have been sending it to the state, It is a falsehood. And so we wouldn't want to see that show up in a comp plan. So if you are contacted by them, please, we would ask that you contact us and we would address that.
He's sick.
And this is not something I mean, this isn't a reality because the Skokomish sought to exclude Skokomish from the comp plan in Kitsap County. And we entered into mediation and even delayed the development of the comp plan in that county over it. So please consider those two things. Enforcement is a critical component. People shouldn't be able to develop land that is not within the plan. They shouldn't be allowed to ignore those restrictions, so enforcement is a key component. We don't want to see people just dropping down houses along the shoreline in places that are not properly, not residential or industrial, whatever they're building. And we'd also like to make sure that, the Hood Canal watershed remains within that land acknowledgement, Skokomish's historic place, and not, the narrative not being rewritten by outside tribes.
I'm really happy that you brought up the land acknowledgement. And we have one from the Squawks, and we would love to have one from you guys.
I've got one for you.
Oh, excellent.
Ink still wet.
Excellent.
So,
That just got executed.
Right?
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
It did.
and so,
All right.
Well, I should say toner still wet.
No, my signature. Oh, the printing's dry, it's my
Yeah.
signature.
Thank you.
Yes, fantastic. Yeah, do you guys have anything you want to add, Tim?
No, I don't wanna say anything to screw this up.
Ready?
So first I apologize, I just did chemo and sometimes it doesn't work right when I go to speak. So if something comes out wrong, my heart is good. Please, we've worked together for many years, they'll know that. It's amazing that you would even bring up the aspect about, standing in the community. It was legally established years ago that you are the first peoples. The big wars that happened between some of the different tribal outfits on the Hood Canal Quarry Council was because you guys were the ones that left with the rights, because you were the ones that had the rights. And that started some interaction. So I am aware of that, just so you know. I'm completely aware of that, and I'm very much appreciative of working with you guys. And I consider you as part of our family. That's another difference. We work together, we take care of each other here. This is the same families, the same stores, same everything. I worked for about 5 years out on your properties out there. You may remember a place called McDonald's Open Market. Many years ago, I worked there for about 5 years and worked with that family. And so I got to know a lot of the different things in the community and stuff because of that. Just know that you are completely appreciated. And in my world, in my view, you are the family. No confusion.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, just thanks for being here, I appreciate it. We absolutely wanna, I look at the comp plan as somewhat of a mission statement, more than a regulatory document, but we definitely wanna take care of the water and the environment. That's pretty high on our list, and I think that's part of what we wanna make sure is part of the focus. The things that we do and the decisions we make, we try and put that high on the list.
Yeah,
Within our capability to do so.
I just really wanted to thank you guys for coming and being a part of the process. I think it's very important that we include our neighbors, and you guys are our neighbors. And so moving forward, I would love to keep the communication open, keep it going, and we can all work together and accomplish amazing things.
I think it's also a good time to note, give thanks to the PAC and the
Yes.
Cal and her staff and everybody else at community development, that they do
Yeah.
a fantastic job, and it's a never-ending job updating the comp plan. They'll get this one done, they'll start on the next one, so they don't get enough thanks.
No, they don't. They don't. Recognition, thanks. Yeah. I'd buy Ian flowers, but I don't know that we want them. First, I might want them though. No, yeah, a big thanks to the PAC because they spent weeks and many nights reviewing and cussing and discussing.
18 months,
Mhm.
19 months, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and so if you guys have suggestions on anything that you want us to take a look at, please feel free to send them to Marissa and Kel. And we can, our hearing is the December 19th, Right.
16.
December 16th, I know as a teen. But if you guys want to join us on the 16th, not the 19th, the 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd love to have you here.
What time is that?
9:15, I think.
Morning.
Ish.
Yeah, ish.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always an ish.
Probably
We're
later.
like that. It's good to
Public
be
hearing,
soft.
so it's like, whenever we,
Just
depends on
can't
how
happen
many.
before that.
Can't happen, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
So that was Tuesday, December 16th.
I'm here.
Correct. 9:15
Ish.
or later.
I'm just gonna add it to the
No
calendar.
earlier than
No
9:15.
earlier than 9:15.
It'll be noted, there'll be agendas on our website.
Yes. Yep. Well, we don't wanna keep you guys any longer than you want to stay, but we truly do appreciate you coming and joining us and being part of the process and the communication.
Of course. And, you know, if there's anything that we can do to help out or, you know, any questions that you have of us and things that we're looking at and doing, please feel free to reach out. I work in our administration as well as on our tribal council, so I can kind of help you get wherever you need to go, or any answers that you're looking for, information or otherwise. Like I said, as we were created here, we'll be here forever, you know. And so I tell our people all the time that as a tribe, we might not have all the money in the world, but the one gift that we do have is time. And so if there's something that we want to do, it's one foot in front of the other until we get there, and we will get there. And so similar situated is Mason County. The county ain't going anywhere either. And so we are better served working together on the journey forward and finding that path because it can be mutually beneficial, and I think there's bright things on the horizon. So appreciate the opportunity and again, look forward in partnership.
All right. Yes, and thank you. Thank you again. Do we need to adjourn?
Madam Chair, I move we adjourn.
Second?
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So how,